Good morning from here in Yuma, Arizona. We are driving into California on our way to El Centro to have a meeting with the head of an LGBT rights group, and we are crossing the Colorado River into California. Let's see if we can even see it. It's quite small. I think we're already over it. You'll see it where the little lines of trees, and there it is. It's very, very small, and now we are in California. And so I wanted to do a little recording just to show you what the landscape here looks like in the southwest and the lower Colorado Valley. We are probably at this point about 2 to 3 miles from the Mexico border, and it's already in the 90s, and it's about 9:15 in the morning. And so again, I wanted to show you what the landscape looks like, in the sense that a lot of the folks who migrate across the desert from Mexico into the United States cross this very, very foreboding landscape. The weather on Monday is supposed to be over 120 degrees in some areas, and so I personally can't even imagine what that feels like. So for folks who are crossing the desert from Mexico into the United States, it must be absolutely terrifying and absolutely life-threatening. And you hear stories about people dying in the desert, coyotes abandoning folks once they cross the border, and they're just left to fend for themselves in the desert in 120 plus degree heat. And so these are some of the risks that folks take when they try to migrate into the U.S. Obviously, many of these folks are very desperate. They're fleeing violence and persecution in their home countries: Honduras, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, parts of Mexico, as I've heard on my trip. And so they're willing to take these risks to cross into the U.S. And as you see, there's not a lot of cover. It's very, very stark terrain, very hot, not a lot of shade, and so it's very, very challenging, to say the least, for these migrants to cross into the U.S. in this part of the area. So we're now heading into California. As I said, we're going to be heading into an area called Los Algodones, the cotton trees, and you'll start to see some sand dunes and things of that sort as we head towards the Imperial Valley. And yeah, so that's what it looks like out here in southeastern California. The Colorado River is a little bit to my right, from my left rather, according to my GPS, and what's left of it will cross into Mexico and pretty much disappear before it heads into the Gulf of California. So we have a little bit of some brush and things like that. We're coming up on these sand dunes I just mentioned, and yeah, so that's what it looks like out here. I'm heading to El Centro, as I said, and then I will be in Tijuana later this afternoon. Very much looking forward to the cooler temperatures. It's on the ocean, on the Pacific, so